Good morning, it's Jane, and today's WOTWIP and Coffee. I am working on the honeycomb, the painted honeycomb blanket. This is where I was at the last time. I've worked on it a little bit here and there, and I am ready to get on with it. It's really a very simple pattern, and I do enjoy it, but it's just finding time to sit down and to actually work on it. That is the biggest problem that I have, you know? But yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. Okay. So I hope you guys have brought your work with you. What are you guys working on today? Are you still working on a project you were last week, or have you moved on to something new? And here's another thing. How many of you are monogamous? Knitters or crocheters? You know, I have trouble with that. And I always tease because I have craft ADD. You know, I get bored with something and I don't want to move on to something else. Or maybe I have fear of missing out, FOMO, you know, of each project that comes along that I'm like, oh, I've got to do this one, so let me start on it and then forget the other ones. But yeah, I've been trying to work on those whips that I have, those big old piles, one by one. Either that or determine whether they're going to get ripped out, frogged. And there are some times that I sit there and I look at them and I go, I don't know, maybe I should finish them, you know? Yeah, but sometimes it's a bit of a struggle. I don't know how people stay monogamous. You know, have you always been that way? Or were you always someone who had more than one project going on? I've always been the type of person I've had more than one thing going on. So maybe that's why I can't stick to just one project. You know, who knows? You know? I was laughing because I don't know if any of you have ever been tagged in a, shall we say, a less than flattering tag, or one of these nude videos, nude reels that come along. Well, I have in the past. And what I've found annoying is not the ability to do anything about it other than to report it. Well, I'd noticed this week all of a sudden I now have the ability to either allow the tag to stand or to be removed from the tag. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. Well, I had someone, and this was my daughter Jessica's boyfriend before she passed away. He said to me, I've had that ability to approve or disprove or, you know, remove the tags for years on my Facebook. I'm like, well, maybe it just got slow getting here to the east. I have always teased about things in the west move a lot faster than they do here in the east. I know that when I first moved here, there were not a lot of people that were using computers in the workplace at hospitals, such as nurses using computers. And I had moved here years ago from Texas. And when I was in Texas, we did the pilot program for doing nursing notes and those kind of things on computers. You know, so that's kind of interesting to see that to now where almost everyone has a laptop, iPad, uses it in the workplace. I find that interesting. And I know when I first moved here, the hospital here got their first Pyxis system, which where we were at in Texas, the Pyxis was used for controlled drugs and certain drugs that were used frequently and that we may run out of in our medicine carts. So, I just thought it was interesting that back in 2004, they got their first Pyxis. And I had already been working with Pyxis since 1995. So yeah, it's just interesting to see how the technology moves a little faster in certain areas and takes longer in other areas to come into fruition. Although I think nowadays it's beginning to where things are just about the same, all the time. So maybe they are starting to move a little faster across the U.S. than what they have been in the past. And what I'm finding, I think it's interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen what is it? The ad for the Owala water bottles. Supposedly, they're looking for people to test it, give a review, those kind of things. They're free, to a household. Oh yeah, except you gotta pay for the shipping and handling, $24.95. Well, I'll just go to Walmart and buy a $15, cup. I just find that interesting how a lot of places will use that, say you're just paying for shipping and handling. No, you're paying for the cup. Because we all know shipping and handling for a cup that size, that big, and the weight of it's going to be about $6. So you're paying for the cup. Allergies are bad this morning. I don't know what's going on. As you can tell, my nose is itching, running, that kind of thing. I hate allergy season, but I also look forward to it because that means things are blooming. Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship. I don't know if you can hear in the background. Izzy has this thing where she goes around the house and she's just wandering, but she's calling for someone. Usually it's either me or it's her brother she's calling for. She does like this little, So, her little coo, that's her way of looking for, here she comes. She's like, what? Are you calling me? What do you want? So, yeah. I just find it funny that she does that. And she'll do it in the middle of the night, too, sometimes. She's a little crazy kitty. Crazy kitty, kitty. Don't scratch. Don't scratch. Yeah, I know. Mama told you no. So, yeah. The cats have been a lot of fun. They tend to get a little upset if I don't open up the window for them to look out the window or to sit in the window and watch things. They have been having a blast watching me cut the bamboo, gather it for it to go into the trash pile. So yeah, and then they come in and of course they've got to stiff me all over, because I've been out there in the wild. So they've got to check it out, man. Make sure that I haven't gotten into anything crazy. So yeah, I'm at the point now where I've got most of it cut down in the front. I still have to put down the baking soda, vinegar, and then cover it with the plastic so that hopefully during the summer it will kill it completely. Yeah, that bamboo is nasty. You know, and I have a lot of people tell me, well, if the contractor's the one that put it in there, doesn't he have to do something about it? Well, yeah, I've asked him to do something about it. I've asked him to correct this issue with the grass, but of course he's refusing to do that, so that's part of the lawsuit. You know, and part of my lawsuit was complaining that he didn't do a lot of things that I'd asked for in the house. Basically, pretty much did what he wanted to do, not what I had asked. So, yeah, it's just, you know, one thing after another. So I'm out there playing with it, and I kind of laugh because I've, you know, can't get topsoil out here. So like I said, I bring in 1 or 2 bags each time I get paid, you know, from Lowe's or Walmart. Once they have the topsoil bags in, 40-pound bags, bring it in so I can put some down in an area so I can plant some plants. So, yeah, that's rather interesting, you know, and they just kind of look at me like I'm crazy. And of course, I could order a lot of it and have Lowe's just deliver the bags, but then I'd have the bags sitting outside all the time, and I don't think the neighbors would be too thrilled with that. So there's that. But yeah, I've been having fun watching Juan, the yarn addict. I'm looking forward to the Mother's Day when he gives Wilma Sasha. That should be interesting. So that's going to be neat to see her face when he gives her that for Mother's Day. At least I'm hoping he does it on camera. He may not. You never know. But it's fun kind of watching him. He's brought the wheel back. I know a lot of you enjoy that wheel and the way that he does things. So, and I do enjoy watching it. I don't always do the project he's working on, but I do find it interesting, the use of the wheel. You know, it's sort of like what are you two doing? Sorry, they distracted me for a moment. It's almost like I'm drawing a blank. The afghan that we do each year with Nancy, or Nan. You know, where you do 3 rows. Why is that escaping me? I'll put the link down below what I'm talking about, you know. And last year, Jax had done a blanket for Boggy Creek using that, where she uses the different numbers, pulls a number from it, and you've got the different yarns sectioned out what you're going to do. See, I can remember everything but the name of it. Goodness gracious. Getting old isn't for the faint of heart, is it? But anyway, it kind of reminds me of that, but just using a wheel instead of having them in a hat and pulling out, you know, the stitch or the number. So that's kind of neat to see that. I have noticed a couple people have added wheels to their repertoire for their different videos, and that's fun to see, neat to watch. I'm still way behind on Crystal, that shawl that you did, the shawl along. I'm hoping to get caught up. I was hoping to do that Monday and Tuesday, but things didn't turn out that way, had to do something else instead. And yeah, sometimes plans get thwarted. I am also working on the gnomes for the boys that I have to do with the baseballs. And of course, the one young man reminded me last night, now remember, I want blue and green for my beard. So, yeah, it's been a little fun working with these young boys, getting to know them, getting to see them grow, you know. So it's fun. I do enjoy having conversations with them. And Awana next week is our last week. It's an award ceremony. This past Wednesday, we had the ice cream party. That was kind of fun because we went out and we did a scavenger hunt. And of course, the kids would get extra points if they found a live frog and brought it to one of us leaders. Thankfully, no one found a frog. But scavenger hunt was pretty neat. You know, they had to find like sticks that were 6 inches long, flat rocks. They had to find a round rock. A boy and a girl had to sing Jesus Loves Me, This I Know. Then they had to recite John 3:16. They also had to recite, I believe it's Psalm 119, verse 11, I think. A maple leaf. And then they also, the thing that I thought was interesting is they had to draw a sunset. Someone had to draw a sunset. They had no paper other than the leader who had the piece of paper with the items that were being looked for the scavenger hunt. So some of them drew the sunset on the back of the piece of paper. They had gone over to where the fire pit was because lots of times some of the youth groups, they have a fire pit out in the back. So some of the kids were taking the charcoal from the fire pit to draw the sunset on the back of a piece of paper. Some of them just drew a sunset in the dirt, or there's a little area that has a little bit of sand. So that was interesting to see. The kids use their wiles and their thoughts and, you know, how to come up with a solution for some of the scavenger hunt. So that was pretty neat to see them do that. And of course, they're running around like crazy. It was a lot of fun. And then we went inside and they had ice cream. And of course, they had earned points during the year for Bible verses, for bringing a friend, for bringing their Bible, for remembering to wear their vest, or if they wore something backwards on backwards day, then they got, you know, like triple points, those kind of things. So they had accumulated points throughout the whole year, and they could spend on toppings. Now they had things like sprinkles were 150 points, caramel chocolate sauce were 200, crushed Oreos, M&Ms were 300, gummy bears were 400. If you used magic shell, cherries, whipped cream, they were all 500 each. If you had an extra scoop of ice cream, that was worth 1,000 points. So it was quite fun, you know, taking these kids through and seeing their choices, you know, and most of them didn't use all their points. So that was rather interesting. And they were willing to give some of their points to their friends. So that was neat to see. Now next week is the last week. It's their awards ceremony. And they are also having a pizza party beforehand. So that again will be a lot of fun to see these kids. And they ran out of ice cream last night, which I'm not sure they expected. I don't think they realized how much ice cream, how many points these kids had. But, you know, all the kids got ice cream, so that was good. Okay, what are you guys doing? Both of them are under my legs. What are you doing? They're nuts. Okay. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's coming to an end until, you know, school starts again next September, I guess. Or August. I'm not sure when it starts here. But that's going to be kind of a little bit of a downer, not getting to see all the kiddos. Most of the kids I know, so I'll see them on a weekly basis anyway. But some of them go to different churches, so I won't get to see them unless they come for one of our special programs or things that they do. Because a lot of them do come, you know, because our church has a lot of activities for the kids, so it's a good thing, you know. But yeah, should be rather interesting to see what happens next week. I have been contemplating, like I said, getting rid of the cable. I did call, canceled the cable. Of course, the minute you cancel, they want to give you a better rate. Like, no, I don't think so. Just going to get rid of it. Don't watch it that often anyway. Very rarely do I put the TV on. You know, so what's the point of having it? What's the point of paying for the cable if I'm not using it, right? Plus, I can use that other places, like buying topsoil. So yeah, I always find that interesting how they're more than willing, you know, to give you a better deal once they know you're going to cancel. You know, why don't they just give you a better deal all the time? You know, why don't they just do that instead of constantly screwing you? And of course, the only bad thing about not having the cable is I might miss some extra sports events. I'll be okay. Trust me. I rarely watch sports anyway. So that should be interesting. And I think I watch a lot more, you know, Amazon Prime. I do a lot of YouTube watching. I'll keep my Peacock. I do like that. And it just, you know, I just went back and looked at all the different, you know, if you subscribe to some of the different channels like ABC, CBS, it's a whole lot cheaper that way, you know, the streaming than it is for the cable. So, looking forward to that. That happens next week when it finally ends and they come get their box. And I only have a couple more months where I have to keep the phone service with them. And I am hoping to change over my phone service to a different carrier. As well as the internet. I understand there's one of these in our area offers the internet at a much lower price, as well as the phone. You know, the cost of the phone is about the same as what I was paying now anyway, so looking forward to that. Easing up a little bit on some of those financial issues. Because that's never fun, you know? Sometimes you have to sit back, reevaluate what's going on, whether you really want to keep it or not. So, yeah. Plus, I find a lot more things I would like to use my money for. But I find it interesting the way that this election season is ramping up. You know, I find it interesting Democrats will do everything they can to make sure that Donald Trump is not president again. Oh, mercy. We'll never survive that, will we? Yeah, I'm to the point I really don't care who's president. I just pray for both of them and pray for their salvation. Especially the one that we have in office right now. I worry about him. I think he's being manipulated by other people. So, not only that, but I truly think he has Alzheimer's. You know, he's too many times he's in front of the camera and he's got that blank stare, like he has no clue what's going on. And as a nurse, you know when you know. So, yeah, it just scares me, some of the things that I think people manipulating him will get us into. I guess that's all we can do. Pray that it doesn't happen, right? I have continued to find a few more new channels. I am trying to slow down on searching for new channels, although some of them come quite naturally. A lot of these that I am shouting out that you'll see, you've probably already subscribed to or found. Some you may have not. So I will continue to do that like I have in the past, but most likely I will not be doing as many names in each one. But I do enjoy finding new channels, seeing the different things and seeing what they're up to and how they handle things. Some of these folks are just naturals in front of the camera, and that I always find amazing. One of the other things I always find amazing is how fast the male channels, content providers, how fast their channels grow. I do find that interesting. I don't know if that's other men or if women find it more interesting to see men crocheting than others of their same sex. I just find that interesting how a channel goes when you first find them, how they go from 300 to over 2,000, 3,000. Now, yeah, some of these you understand completely because they get a shout out from Bag O' Day, and a lot of people follow Bag O' Day. And so, a shout out from Bag O' Day is golden, for the most part. So I do find that interesting how that happens. And I do enjoy watching their content right along with the rest of you. So yeah. When you get to this last part, sometimes it's a little bit harder to get things into the place because you have to watch what you're doing pretty closely. And that sometimes can be a little bit of a struggle. So, and I do think it's interesting with the way that shops do, as well as Etsy, when someone gives a shout out for an Etsy shop, how well the shop does for quite a period of time. And that's a good thing. That helps each and every one of those shops. So I'm glad that a lot of folks that do shop, different Etsy shops, do give them shout outs, those kind of things. What are you doing? I have a cat that's chewing on one of the legs of the tripod this camera is on. I have no idea what he thinks he's going to do. Ronan is just chewing away. And he's chewing on steel. So, crazy cats. Oh, animals are such a joy sometimes. And sometimes you think, what am I going to do with these crazy kiddos? Cats, dogs, you know? In the shop, as you know, I have more of the reusable grocery bags up. These are the cotton canvas bags. They can also be used as project bags. They do all have the French seams, so been having fun with that. Working on those. I do have more bags that I've cut. Hopefully, I'd planned on having those out this weekend. I don't think they're going to get out this weekend. They're probably going to be out probably sometime next week, just because of having to fight with that bamboo out there takes me away from the sewing area. So, yeah, I have a number of bags that I've cut that are ready to go out. I am looking at doing some handbags as well. I've decided there are some certain handbag patterns that I enjoy doing, so I would like to do those more often. And I hope that you guys will enjoy the handbags as well. I don't always do wallets. I have in the past done the necessary clutch wallet in the past. I have done that before, but it can be kind of fiddly using all the different products, getting it correct. But I did turn that into a purse one time that I did enjoy using all the time. I just made it bigger, is all that I did. And I've thought about putting that out there. Not sure if I will or not. It's just a modification on the pattern, turning it into a full-size purse. So, who knows? Not sure what I'll do with that. And I have always enjoyed creating bag patterns on my own. I've done that for years. I've often made many of my own bags, and I've had a lot of people ask me, where'd you get that pattern? In my brain. I don't know how to tell you where that pattern came. It was in my brain. What can I say? So yeah, that has always been fun to do, and I do enjoy doing that. It kind of keeps those brain cells moving if you're not doing the same thing all the time. So do enjoy that. I am planning on doing some casserole covers. This is basically a casserole cover that you can use for any size casserole dish. And they do have they are insulated so that it will keep your food warm a little bit longer. And of course, the good thing about them is they're washable, you know. So yeah, I've been working on those, getting those cut, those kind of things. What I try to do is get a lot of things cut and out of the way first, so that then I can just concentrate on sewing each project as I go. And that's kind of where I'm at with that and with the shop. Shop updates will come a little bit, maybe once or twice a month. I think that's kind of where I'm at with that. I have decided on the pattern that I wanted to do with the greens that I have in that bag, and that is going to be the block stitch in the rectangle and the round. I don't think that's what Bag-A-Day called it, but it's her pattern. It's the tutorial that she did on it. So I do plan on doing that because I think it makes a nice, neat blanket. So that is what I am planning on doing with the greens. I have started the first part of it, but like I said, I've got to finish working on the shawl that Bag-A-Day did. Got to get those gnomes finished so I can get them out, get them to the boys, and then just continue working on the whips as they go. And yeah, I think that's about it. I've jawed your ears off long enough for now. So I will let you guys go, and I will see you again the next time. But yeah, be sure and let me know what you're working on. I do enjoy seeing it, those kind of things. I do plan on this evening sitting down and going through the comments, hearting, replying, those kind of things. The only thing that I find frustrating about that is I do see where I heart things, and then I go back to look at the comments, and the heart's gone, so I've got to re-heart. I'm not sure how that works. I've done it by going to the video and doing it right there. That seems to work the best. It doesn't always work when you do it in studio. So, I don't know. Anyway, I do read your comments. I really do. And I have hearted them, but for some reason the hearts disappear. So I'll just keep at it, right? All right, guys. I'll see you guys soon. Remember to be kinder to yourself. Get out there and see this big, beautiful world we live in. And if you see bamboo, give it a kick for me. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.